Welcome back to The Future Forward, the podcast that deciphers the patterns of success. I'm Maria.
And I'm Gabriel. Today we're tackling a topic that sounds like a dream, but is more achievable than you might think: how to make money while you sleep. It's the ultimate goal, right? The idea that you can go to bed or go on vacation or just, live your life and your bank account is still growing. It's all about something called passive income.
It's a phrase that gets thrown around a lot, almost like a myth, but it's not just about getting rich. It's about reclaiming your time, your most valuable asset. It's about designing a life where you're in control, not your job. And it's so much more than just a financial tactic. It's a fundamental shift in your relationship with work. We're so conditioned to believe that our income is directly proportional to the hours we punch on a clock. Passive income breaks that link. It's about creating freedom, not just wealth.
Exactly. And to really get it, we first have to understand its opposite: active income. That's what most of us have. It's your 9-to-5 job. You trade your time, your direct effort for a paycheck. If you stop working,
The money stops coming in. Simple as that. You're renting out your time.
Passive income, on the other hand, is when you earn money from an asset that you've created or invested in. It decouples your time from your earnings. Passive income is the opposite. It's an asset you build that works for you, generating income whether you're actively working or not. Think of a musician who writes a hit song. They do the work once, but they earn royalties for years, every time the song is played on the radio or streamed online. And there's a deep psychological shift that happens when you start earning passively. With active income, there's always a low-level anxiety. You know that if you get sick or need to take a break, the income stream dries up.
Now, let's be super clear here. Passive doesn't mean no work. That's a huge misconception. It means you do the work up front. You build the system. You create the asset, and then that asset works for you, day and night. And that freedom is the real goal. It's not about being lazy. It's about having options. The option to work on projects you love, the option to travel, the option to spend more time with your family, without the constant pressure of, if I don't work, I don't eat.
It's front-loaded effort for long-term reward. Think of it like planting a tree. You do the hard work of digging the hole and planting the seed, and for a while it needs your attention. But eventually that tree grows and provides shade and fruit for years, long after you've stopped the daily watering. That tree is a passive asset.
Right. It's a complete shift in how you think about work and money. And that shift is profound. It's not just financial, it's psychological. When your income isn't tied directly to the hours you put in, your relationship with both time and money fundamentally changes. You stop seeing time as just a commodity to be sold. And that leverage is a concept from physics that applies perfectly to finance. You're using a tool, the system you build, to multiply your effort. Instead of lifting the weight yourself, you're using a lever. It's working smarter, not just harder. It's the difference between building your own house brick by brick versus carrying water in a leaky bucket. One creates a permanent asset, the other is a constant chore that stops the moment you do.
It really is. The core of the passive income mindset is moving away from selling your time and toward building systems. Think of yourself not as a worker, but as an architect.
Ooh, I like that. An architect of income streams. You're designing and constructing a machine that operates without you. Your job is to build the machine and then just maintain it.
Precisely. And this leads to two crucial concepts: scalability and automation. Let's talk about scalability first. As an individual trading time for money, you can't scale. You only have 24 hours in a day. You can't just make more time.
Yeah, you hit a ceiling pretty fast.
But a system you've built? That can scale infinitely. If you write an ebook, you can sell 10 copies or 10 million copies. The work to write it was the same.
That's the scalability. And then there's the automation piece. Your ebook is delivered automatically by the platform you sell it on. A YouTube video you made 3 years ago can get 1 million views tomorrow while you're hiking, and the ad revenue is deposited into your account automatically.
That's the machine working for you, You are no longer the bottleneck in your own earning potential. The system is the bottleneck, and you can always improve the system.
I love that. You are no longer the bottleneck. That feels so empowering. It's about creating leverage for your effort.
It's the only way to build true wealth, honestly.
Okay, so people listening are probably thinking, all right, I get the mindset. I want to build a machine. So what are the actual blueprints? What are the best passive income streams people can start exploring today?
Great question. Let's run through some of the most popular and effective ones. I think we can group them into a few categories. First up, you have content creation. This is massive.
Okay, so under content, what are we talking about?
Think YouTube automation, which we'll dive into. Blogging is the classic example. Even creating a popular podcast. You create content that attracts an audience, and then you monetize that audience, usually through ads or sponsorships.
Okay, so content is one bucket. What's another?
Digital products. This is where you create an asset and sell it over and over again. We mentioned ebooks, but this also includes online courses, templates for, Notion or Excel, stock photos, music. The list is endless.
Right, and similar to that is something like print on demand, where you design a t-shirt or a mug, but you don't actually hold any inventory. A company prints and ships it for you when an order comes in.
Yep, and that flows nicely into our next one, affiliate marketing. This is where you earn a commission by promoting other people's products. It ties in perfectly with content.
So you're not even creating the product, just the recommendation for it.
Exactly. And then you have the more capital-intensive options. Investing is a huge form of passive income. Buying stocks that pay dividends, investing in index funds, real estate.
That's the make your money work for you model. And I guess we could even include things like building a software application or an app. That's a ton of upfront work, but if it takes off, it can generate revenue for years.
Absolutely. So we have content, digital products, affiliate marketing, and investing. Those are the big four pillars, I'd say. We should probably break a few of those down with real-world examples.
Let's do it. Where should we start?
Let's start with one that gets a ton of buzz online, YouTube automation. People hear this phrase and immediately think it's, sketchy or something.
Right, it sounds like bots are making videos, but that's not what it is at all. A better term is probably faceless YouTube channels. It's about creating content where you, the creator, are not on camera.
Yeah. Think about those channels that do, like, Top 10 Scariest Movies or History of Ancient Rome. It's usually a narrator's voice over a montage of stock footage, images, and animations. You never see the person who made it.
Exactly. So the automation part comes from building a team and a process. You, as the channel owner, might come up with the video ideas, but then you hire a freelance scriptwriter, a voiceover artist, and a video editor to actually produce the content.
You're the producer, the director, not the on-screen talent. You're building that machine we talked about. Your job is to manage the assembly line, not work on it.
So how do they make money?
Primarily through YouTube AdSense. Once a channel meets the requirements, 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, it can place ads on its videos. For every 1,000 views, the channel earns a certain amount of money.
So the goal is to create appealing, evergreen content that people will search for and watch for years to come. A video you post today could still be earning you money 5 years from now.
That's the passive element. It takes a lot of upfront work to find a good niche, build the team, and get the channel monetized. But once it's rolling, it can become a very powerful, scalable source of income.
Okay, I love that example. Let's switch gears to something maybe a bit more tangible for creatives. Digital products. I think this is one of the lowest barriers to entry for anyone looking to start.
I agree. You don't need a team, and the startup costs are practically zero if you already have the skills.
Totally. So what is a digital product? It's anything a customer can buy and download instantly. We're talking ebooks, digital planners, budget spreadsheets, resume templates.
Online courses are a huge one, or even smaller things like photographers selling Lightroom presets or designers selling social media templates for Canva.
The key is you create it one time. You spend hours, maybe days or weeks perfecting this one thing, and then you put it up for sale. The best place for beginners is usually a marketplace like Etsy.
Right? Because Etsy already has a massive audience of buyers who are actively searching for these kinds of products. You can also use platforms like Gumroad or build your own website using Shopify or Squarespace.
And here's the magic. Once your product is listed, the entire sales and delivery process is automated. A customer finds your digital planner, clicks buy, pays for it, and instantly gets an email with a download link. This can happen at 3 in the morning while you are fast asleep.
It's a perfect example of a passive income system. The upfront work is creating a high-quality, desirable product and setting up the listing. The maintenance is maybe some customer service or marketing. But the core transaction is completely hands-off.
So powerful. A single, well-made digital product can literally generate income for a decade.
All right, let's move on to the next big one, which actually connects the last two things we talked about: affiliate marketing.
This is basically getting paid for your recommendations.
Couldn't have said it better. The model is simple. A company wants to sell more of their product or service, so they create an affiliate program. You sign up, and they give you a unique, trackable link.
Then you share that link. Let's say you have a YouTube channel about coffee. You make a video reviewing your favorite espresso machine. In the description, you put your affiliate link to that machine on Amazon.
Right. When a viewer clicks your link and buys the machine, Amazon's system knows that you sent them there, and they pay you a small percentage of the sale as a commission.
And what's so great is that it doesn't cost the buyer anything extra. The company is just sharing a piece of its marketing budget with you for bringing them a customer.
Now, the key to doing this ethically and effectively is authenticity. You have to promote products you genuinely use and believe in. If you just start spamming random links, your audience will see right through it and lose trust.
Oh, 100%. Trust is your biggest asset as a creator. But if you do it right, it's a fantastic way to monetize your content. Your blog post or YouTube video acts as a 24/7 salesperson for these products you love.
It creates another layer of income on top of the AdSense or the digital products you might also be selling. It diversifies your passive income streams.
Okay, so far we focused on models that require creating something: content, products, recommendations. But let's also talk about investing.
Right? This is the classic definition. You use money to make more money. This requires you to have some capital to start with, but it's arguably the most scalable form of passive income in the long run.
So, what's a simple way to start? I think dividend investing is a great example. Certain established companies will share a portion of their profits with their shareholders. This payment is called a dividend.
So you buy shares of a dividend-paying stock, and every quarter or so, they just deposit cash into your brokerage account. It's income you receive just for being an owner of the company.
And if you reinvest those dividends to buy more shares, you get the power of compounding. It's a slow and steady path, but incredibly powerful over decades.
For people who don't want to pick individual stocks, there are index funds. This is where you buy a fund that holds a tiny piece of hundreds or even thousands of companies. Like an S&P 500 index fund buys you a piece of the 500 largest companies in the U.S.
It's the ultimate set it and forget it strategy. You're betting on the growth of the overall economy, not just one company.
Yeah, and we won't go too deep, but there are more active strategies too, like selling covered calls on stocks you own, which is like renting them out for income. The point is, your capital becomes your employee, working around the clock to generate more capital.
It's a different skill set for sure. It's less about creativity and more about financial literacy and discipline.
Okay, so whether you're creating content, selling products, or investing, there's a common theme here for making it truly passive: building systems that work automatically. It's not passive if you're still doing every task yourself every single day.
Right, then you've just created another job for yourself, one without a boss or paid vacation. The goal is to build the machine and then step away from the controls as much as possible.
So, let's talk about the tools of automation. For content creators, scheduling tools are a lifesaver. You can use platforms to schedule all your social media posts, your pins on Pinterest, even your YouTube videos, weeks or months in advance.
This allows for batching, which is a total game changer. Instead of thinking, what do I post today, you spend one day creating all your content for the entire month. Then you spend another day scheduling it all. Then you're done. Your marketing is running on autopilot.
Mm-hmm. And the next level of system building is outsourcing. This is where you hire other people to run parts of your machine for you. We touched on it with YouTube automation, but it applies everywhere.
Totally. You can hire a virtual assistant or VA from a site like Upwork or Fiverr to handle your customer emails, manage your social media scheduling, or even edit your podcast episodes.
The goal is to identify the tasks that are repetitive or that you're not good at and delegate them. Your time is best spent on the high-level strategic work, the architect work. You're designing the next part of the machine, not tightening the bolts on the old one.
That's how you scale from a side hustle into a real business that can operate and grow without your constant, direct involvement.
That's the dream.
Okay, we have covered so much ground. YouTube, digital products, investing, system building. For someone listening who's feeling both inspired and maybe a little overwhelmed, what's the final piece of advice? What is the action plan?
I think the most important thing, the absolute number one rule, is to not get paralyzed by all the options. You need to pick one.
Just one. Yes, do not try to start a YouTube channel, an Etsy store, and a dividend portfolio all in the same month. You will fail at all three.
Pick the one that genuinely excites you the most. If you love video, try YouTube. If you love to write, start a blog. If you're a design wizard, create templates. Pick the path that plays to your natural strengths and interests.
And then the second piece of advice is to be incredibly patient and consistent. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You're building an asset. It takes time. You might post 50 videos before one takes off. You might list 20 digital products before you find a winner.
You have to commit to at least a year of consistent effort before you can fairly judge if it's working or not. Most people give up after a month or two, right before they might have seen success.
So, to recap, pick one stream, be consistent for at least a year, and from day one, think like an architect. Think about how you can build systems, batch your work, and eventually automate and outsource.
That's the code. Every single piece of content you create, every product you list, is a tiny digital employee that you are sending out into the world to work for you 24/7. Build your army of employees, and eventually you'll win your freedom.
What a perfect way to end it. Thank you all for tuning in to The Future Forward.